morning folks, today I'm going to be taking on the fourth highest mountain here in the Lake District National Park, and that is Skiddaw. You can see the path behind me winding its way up the mountain. Also on the way we're going to take on Little Man, and on the way back down Lonscale Fell as well. But I'm so excited to share this mountain with you because it has such character. To so many it seems like a big grassy lump, but it's such a journey up to the top, and the views are going to be insane today. It is quite hazy, but I'm really feeling very optimistic, other than the fact that there is a search and rescue helicopter doing its stuff over there. But follow me today, be prepared to be blown away. Let's go climb Skiddaw. First point of interest then, we have this monument here, very Celtic looking in design, and what a backdrop as well. In loving memory of two Skiddaw shepherds, Edward Howell and Joseph Howell.
The monument also features a third name, Robert Walker Howell, and shows a section of a poem saying, "Great shepherd of thy heavenly flock, these men have left our hill, their feet were on the living rock, I'll guide and bless them still."
I really love the way with this ascent you can just see the switchback of the path pretty much the majority of the way up before it goes over the brow. And it's just zigzag, 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 so you can really chart your progress. But it's great because the path is maintained by the rangers here, and what that means is it's helping to preserve the mountain for future fell walkers. Biggest issue here in the Lake District is heavy footfall, and so the National Trust Rangers and the National Park Rangers work tirelessly year round to ensure that the paths are maintained and looked after so that our fells are protected. Okay, we're through the gate, let the ascent begin. It's basically all uphill from here. I guess at the car park you start with a certain level of elevation, but this is just the warm-up with the views. You can see Derwent Water there, Catbell Ridge, Grisdale Pike, so on. Every peak has its own name. It's going to be impossible to keep going, I'm just going to keep stopping. Really loving this climb so far. There's something that gets me so excited about pushing myself, heart rate up, maintaining that pace, just keep on keeping on, except when I stop to check that out. But this is definitely my element. This is where I come alive. What we got here then is a path that's been made as a shortcut to skip the switchback, but you can see the issue: if everyone's cutting corners, then the whole path just goes straight up, which for some is great, but for the mountain not so. The ones that are maintained are the ones that should be used. It is tempting to cut corners, but we shouldn't really. So onwards this way.
As you can see, I feel very passionate about the importance of taking steps to protect the landscape that we love, even if it means going the long way round, and I hope maybe you do too. The geology in the Lake District can be broken down into 6 rock types, with the area around Skiddaw and the mountain itself being comprised of Skiddaw slates, formed around 500 million years ago. The sedimentary stone is a mixture of laminated mudstone and siltstone, which is often overlaid with scree.
It's really funny because you see this like flat bit here. I remember one time we were here in October climbing, actually coming down, the cloud was really low, and Penny, our USD dog, saw something, and then boom, she's jumping across this. My instincts kick in and I leg it after her, only to find that this was really boggy, and I was like knee deep in bog. Managed to catch the Westie dog, silly Penny, and then like scramble back to the path. But that memory always stays with me because it was like such a shot of adrenaline. And you know, the whole time I've been here this whole week, Skiddaw's been in the cloud. I'm so thankful that today we've got some clearness and we can climb it and I can share this with you. I'll never take it for granted that I can come up here, and I really want to encourage you to give it a shot. Get the physical training in, get the skills, map and compass just in case the cloud does come down. Build the confidence, start with lower fells, maybe haystacks, check out my video for that, and then head up here. It's so worth the effort. It's good for you, it's good for you, it's good for you. We rounded the corner here on this flattish bit and we can see the top of Little Man. So there's two cairns, there's one on the nearer mound and one on the further, and the furthest one is Little Man. But it really goes to show just how clear it is today. The view behind and the view forwards, it's pretty insane.
I was struggling to take in the depth of the raw beauty around me, from the gently rounded and convex slopes of Skiddaw itself to the rugged mountain tops protruding heavenwards as far as the eye could see. I was just itching to reach the summit and enjoy the full panoramic.
Okay, so the plan then, now that we're at this fence, is to ascend on the obvious path up to the first cairn, drop back down, back up to Little Man at 865 meters above sea level, and then we'll descend just slightly into that little coal bit and then all the way back up to Skiddaw at 931 meters above sea level, the highest point for today. Then from there the plan is to come back down on the main bridleway path, hit this fence at the same point, pass over Jenkin Hill, slight descend, slight ascend up to the top of Lonscale Fell at 715 above sea level, and then we'll follow the fence and skirt back round to the main path for the final descent. That's the plan, let's get it done. As we've seen the whole way up so far today, the path has been really obvious, no scrambles, very easy underfoot, obviously other than the gradient, but even the gradient's not too sharp. I think this is the steepest done so far yet today, but this really is the ideal first big mountain to try, and I can't recommend it enough. There we go, that's the top of the first cairn. Boom, Little Man up there, insane panorama around us. Woo. I'm honestly just amazed at the weather today. The forecast was low cloud in the early morning, and I was out and about at like 4:30 just kind of checking things out, and there was nothing really. This is totally ideal.
The best thing about the simplicity of the route was that I could take my time, stopping as often as I wanted, knowing the summit was never far away. It made for a good recovery walk, and I truly felt energised with every step I took.
Cross the shale to the top. Little Man 865 above sea level, even higher than Lesser Man down there. Oh, I feel like I'm on top of the world, man. There's quite something up here, and what we can see is the Solway Firth with the wind turbines that are offshore, and we can also see the summit of Skiddaw. That is very much within reach now. You can see it almost plateaus out. It's really worth us walking the full length, and we'll get greater views over the Solway Firth. Okay, so we're descending Little Man now. We'll go down a bit before we go up a bit, all the way up to the ridge, which will take us to the summit of Skiddaw. And you know, I'm just trying to take my time here. I'm just so blown away at the views today. Honestly, I don't recall a day that I've been up Skiddaw and I have been able to see quite this far. I'm speechless, like completely mind blown. You know, and it's just so incredible. The Lake District has been a national park since 1951. It's one of many national parks here in the UK. These are such treasured areas here in our are very much overpopulated country. You can really come up here and escape. You can just lose yourself among the mountain peaks, among the colours, among the rocks and the fells, and you can really find yourself as well. It kind of depends on what you're looking for, but coming up here you have no choice but to focus on the here and the now, every foot placement to make sure you're not going to fall and hurt yourself, every breath of wind, every glimmer of the shining sun. This place is just such a slice of heaven. Just about to join the main bridleway that'll take us to the summit of Skiddaw. Feeling good, loving this breeze. We are getting there. You know, one time my family and I made it to the top of Skiddaw and the winds were at least 60 miles an hour. You really couldn't stand up. It was crazy in strength. And we basically had to like crawl back down, but we were pretty chuffed to have made it to the top. And there's something about the mountains in the cloud and in the harsher weather that kind of really forces you to respect them. You know, these are a great playground, but they can be dangerous as well if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, we're not at the top yet. We're pretty much just coming over the brow though of the plateau bit. Oh my word. Wow. That is insane. The distance that you can see there. Whoa. So you can see Longside Edge going up over Ulloch Pike down there as well. But I'm pretty sure those mountains over there, across the Solway Firth, that is Scotland. This is it then, final ascent up to the top of Skiddaw, 931 metres above sea level. We'll touch the iconic cairn at the top and we'll gaze in wonder at the views all around.
As always, the last few hundred metres to the summit saw my heart rate soar in anticipation. Nothing beats reaching the top of a peak, no matter how simple the climb, and I had to keep myself from running, forcing a slower pace to savour the moment.
And there you have it, the top of Skiddaw.
As expected, the views were boundless and unrestricted, and the atmosphere at the top was electric with appreciation for the land in which we found ourselves. It was as humbling an experience as it was exhilarating. It refreshed the soul and fueled a fire deep within to venture further. I could hardly stay standing, my knees weakened by the rush of emotion, so I sat at the summit eating some fruit, but the taste was numbed by the overwhelm I was experiencing. It was truly an amazing summit.
So that's Skiddaw. Just going to start the descent now down the main bridleway and head on to Lonscale Fell. Hiya. Definitely the best part of this descent is you get to walk back into those views that we had as we were climbing that were behind us. So whilst I could drop off on the left or the right here and follow a different path back, I think it's going to be really rewarding to continue back down the same way. So Lonscale Fell then, this peak is not really as obviously a peak as the two we've just done today, Little Man, Lesser Man and Skiddaw, so it's actually three. It's kind of more of a grassy mound of grass that we'll be traversing, so it should be quite fast underfoot actually, and I have not ventured out this way before, so I'm quite excited to see what it's going to be like, and yeah, just keep making progress over that way for now. Here we are, through the gate. So that's the path over there, which we took coming down from Little Man, and we're going to follow now this bridleway that'll take us down to the gate that we passed earlier, and that'll be our turning off point for Lonscale Fell. Just about to round the corner, already warmed up now that I'm out of the wind, but this is it, last views of Skiddaw. It was fun whilst we were up there, but our sights are set on a new peak.
The landscape to the east was strikingly different from the massive mountains that I'd previously been descending towards. The hills undulated in a gentle fashion, painted every shade of green and brown possible, with a carpet of heather yet to bloom.
The contrast underfoot is now quite notable. This is grass. We've come off of the main bridleway, still got the epic views here, but we are working our way now to Lonscale Fell. Just going to follow this fence basically all the way there and then all the way around. It's a really great sort of catching feature. Make sure we don't wander off the path, but this could definitely be boggy if it had been wet. Thankfully it has not been wet in many weeks here now. Very unusual, but we're just going to make the most of this dry weather and shimmy on over to Lonscale Fell. Okay, so we're just approaching potentially the last ascent today on this walk, which will take us up to the top of the fell. Still all very grassy underfoot, quite springy, and my company are sheep. Peeing sheep. You can see underfoot here, this really could be very, very wet. We're passing right through a boggy section. And there's the top of Lonscale Fell. You can see it just ahead. And on the other side of that will be Lonscale Crags. So it's quite craggy. And then on the other side of that, or just below that, is the Cumbria Way, which is a long distance trail that goes through Cumbria, believe it or not. I walked it way back in 2015 with my mum. Insane route, we filmed it. If you're interested in that trail, check out the video, which is in the link below. Nearly at the top. We're gonna get views on the other side any minute now. Boom. Lonscale Fell. Bit windy up here. So this up here is Lonscale Fell's eastern summit, which is just a little bit lower than the main one. So we'll have a quick dash up there. I was wrong. This is our final ascent for the day, and then we'll begin the journey down here, and what we'll do is we'll pick up the Cumbria Way, which we'll follow, and it will take us very much nearly all the way back to the car and the car park. Feeling super satisfied with today. The weather has been absolutely immense. Let's get to the top of here, shall we? Whoa! Gosh, that is a dizzying height! Woo! We're on top of the world, people! Goodness me!
I was looking over Skiddaw Forest, which, rather confusingly, contains no trees, but is a mossy upland area that stretches out as far as the eye can see.
Honestly, I cannot find the words to sum up just how vast and deep the views have been today. Everywhere I've looked, from the top of Little Man to Skiddaw to here, Lonscale Fell, there have been 360 views in every possible direction across the Lakeland Fells, across the Solway Firth to Scotland. It is mind-blowing, and what a blessing I can be up here today, and even more so that I can share this with you. I will never take that for granted, and I wanted to say thank you for following this little journey here today. I really hope this has inspired you to don your walking boots, to pull out that dusty old map and to open it up and marvel at the wonder of the wild places that we have accessible here in the UK. Get adventuring, and until next time, stay wild.
The final descent took me down a steep grassy path until I hit the obvious track that was used by the Cumbria Way. I followed it as it gently wound its way around the slopes of Skiddaw, crossing a number of blissful rivers until the home straight back to the car.